my name is Liddicoat. I'm the Director of Health and Wellness here at the Y. And it's been 2.5 years since we've had the EGYM. And we've learned along the way, along with all of our members, because it was new to us as well when we first started at the Ellinger Center. And our coaches are well versed in it. They're giving orientations almost every single day. I do a handful of them every month. I wouldn't say I do one every week, but I do a handful of them, enough that I can probably answer most of your questions. If it's something that I haven't experienced, I will definitely have you talk with a coach so that that's just the walkie. All right, so let us get started. So what is EGYM? Basically, it's a global company. These guys are from Germany. They were German students that came over to the United States to go to college, entrepreneurial, and they're the co-founders, so Philip and Florian. And then they had also recruited John Ford. So those are basically the three guys, but this is Philip and Florian. So EGYM is in over 16,000 gyms, and this is probably old data by now because they're exploding with getting the EGYM in lots of different clubs. So it's not just Ys. We were, I think, the second or third Y in Wisconsin to have it. So we were kind of on the front end of that. And then basically what it is AI-powered training plans. The data is collected to track your workouts. So EGYM does have a lot of data that they're collecting from you guys when you're using it. And that allows us to see the busy times. It allows us to see what programs people are in, how many times, how many users are we having on a regular basis, how many new users we're having in a month's time. So there's lots of data for us to use as a provider of this information, but also there's a lot of data that's collecting for you. So if you're doing your morning routine, you can see that you've done that and what your weights are and what your total workout, calories burned and all the things. It's linked to our Y app. So we have a Y app that, that's where you're signing up for group exercise classes. That's where you're signing up for goals, participating in challenges and those kinds of things. And that's where you can also go to find out your EGYM information. It gives live feedback on the screen. So right there and then, at the end of your workout, at the end of the time that you've been on that machine, it gives you a summary. There's like a little bar and it'll say total weight. That's your reps times your weight. So if you were to lift up those skirts underneath the machines, there's actually no weight. It's all technology. So it's hard for people to understand that. Like we walk up to a selectorized machine and we put our pin in the weight stack. That tells us that we're lifting 30 pounds or whatever it is. We pick up some dumbbells. It says that it's 10 pounds. There's nothing like that underneath those skirts. It's all technology. So that's what's super cool about this. And it's just how the machine is perceiving you, or how the technology is perceiving you. It gives you a set amount of resistance that is not a physical weight. It's just resistance in the mechanics of the machine. So, and it can also tell you imbalances. It can tell you if your chest and your back are imbalanced. There's ways in the app to be able to see that when you first initially get your initial setup. That is something that you can look at and go, okay, so my chest is weaker than my back, and so the programming is going to be so that there's not as much discrepancy between those imbalances. So you might think, okay, well my chest press is pretty easy, but my back row is hard, or vice versa. And it's probably because it's trying to not over train your back, because your back's already strong, and it's trying to get your front side equal to your back side, or more equal to it. So those are some things that people aren't really aware of as well. And then automatic periodization. I always have a hard time with that word. So periodization training is the deliberate manipulation of training variables to optimize performance, prevent overtraining, and progress your fitness. Now typically somebody, let's say they're just going to use the matrix machines. They might plug in 30 pounds for their chest press. They might do 40 pounds for their back row, blah, blah, blah. and they're doing that regularly 2 to 3 times a week, and maybe in 6 months, they've increased 20 pounds or something like that, and it's maybe not a regular increase. Whereas this, because it's AI powered, it knows exactly after your strength test how strong you've gotten, and it gives you the load that it feels your body can handle for the next phase. So that's a really important thing to think about. It's going to push you probably a little bit more than even a personal trainer would be able to, because of the technology that is built into it. It also, your 1 rep max, I usually tell people if you've got a bad shoulder, don't go hard on your 1 rep max. Go like 50% on your 1 rep max, because you just don't know, right? When you're starting to do a fitness program, if that's gonna aggravate an injury, let's say, that kind of thing. But for the most part, you wanna do your 1 rep max, like you really wanna, the potential is there for your muscle to grow and for you to get stronger. So based on your 1 rep max, in here on this chart, it says what percentage of your 1 rep max it actually uses. So let's say you're doing rehab fit, you start out at 30% of your 1 rep max. If you're doing muscle building, it starts out at 45 to 65% of your 1 rep max. So that makes sense, right? Like muscle building, that typically isn't a beginner program. That's with somebody that might already have been lifting weights, and they're looking to really, for hypertrophy for the muscle to get bigger.
1 rep max, is that from the strength
yes,
test?
That's your strength
okay,
test.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is there on the screen, can I find out if I'm doing a strengthening or which?
Yeah, the program that your trainer picked for you when you first set it up, that would be on the left-hand side on the screen every time you log in.
Just like I said,
do you know what that is?
For a couple months.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to know.
There's a lot of information on the screen, and you're just focused on that little dot, right? So there's actually a lot more to it, and people just don't notice it, and that's okay. So pay attention in the top left side, that's your program.
Is it the app too?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think it's in there. All right. Since you guys already have been exposed to it, I'm not going to run that video. Okay, so the hub. So when you first link your EGYM band, you go to the hub, you stand in front of it and it scans you and you get weighed and you get your, all the BioAge information is on there. So it gives you a BioAge on 4 different things. It's your strength. So we want to do strength training 2 to 3 times a week, not back-to-back days. And we want to make sure that we have at least 1 rest day. Sometimes you need 2, especially if you're just getting started. There's lots of ways that you can do strength training. There's body weight, leveraged body weight, TRX. There are other, weights in the building. There's the matrix machines that are in the Ellinger Center. There's ones in the weight room. You've got your squat racks. You've got your dumbbells. What you're trying to do is contract each of those major muscle groups, your biceps, your triceps, your chest, your back, your front of the legs, back of the legs, that kind of thing. So with the goal to get stronger overall, increase muscle endurance and anaerobic capacity and power. The machines for the EGYM are set up for 5'3" to 6'5". And a lot of our machines are like that. I always say, they're designed by men for men in the weight room, right? That's kind of typically how it is. So if you're under 5'3", we might have to make some adjustments to the EGYM because it's just not really built for that. The seat only goes down so far, and the mechanics of it only allow the seat to go up so high or the handles to come down so far and all that. So, so just be aware of that. So the EGYM isn't really for everyone is my point. So if you're shorter than that or taller than that, the EGYM might not be for you. But for the most part, we can make it work for those that are kind of on the fringe of that. And then cardiovascular training. So we also have our cardio matrix equipment that's in the Ellinger Center linked to EGYM. So you can scan your band, it will record what you did through your app, and it will suggest some workouts. So if you scan your band in there, if you do a cardio test, then it will ask you what your goals are. It will prompt you to do a cardio test if you haven't already done it on that one particular machine. So if you use all 6 different treadmills, it's gonna ask you to do a cardio test on all 6 of those because you haven't used that machine yet.
Now, like I tried to use one bicycle that has that I've been using most of the time when I heard I could use my band.
Yeah.
I didn't get it to go. Is there what it is? Upstairs?
Is it on the Ellinger Center?
No, this was upstairs.
Yep, the upstairs ones are not linked.
Okay.
We're trying really hard. We've been trying since we moved in to get those linked,
All right.
and all the things are set up properly, but it's not happening. So
Okay.
yes, no worries.
One text though that said they were linking
Yes.
it, so then I went and tried, and
Yep.
I thought maybe I was doing it wrong. Okay.
Nope. No, yep, that was one of those things where that notification probably went out too soon. We thought they were gonna be working and they didn't. Anyway, getting back to that. So we wanna get our heart rate up to 65 to 90% of our max heart rate. So typically if you're walking, unless you're walking uphill really, really fast, you're probably not getting to that 65% of your max heart rate. So walking is good, it's important to walk, it's good to go get your 10,000 steps goal every day, but for cardiovascular health, we do need to get our heart rate up more than what we would probably with walking. So we want to do that on either cardio machines. You can do Sprint 8. Sprint 8 is a program that's built into our cardio machines down the Ellinger Center. It's a 20-minute program. You go hard for 30 seconds, you rest for 90 seconds, and then you're done in 20 minutes. And it's really, there's a lot of research on intervals, in particular, the Sprint 8 program.
Dawn, does that pop up as an option?
If you go to the right screen, so you have to log in, instead of hitting quick start, you hit the house on the left-hand side, and it's the featured program. It says Sprint 8 on, there's a picture of a lady. It's kind of a bigger tile than some of the other ones that are underneath it. And then to set it up, there's a lot of different levels that you can set up. So it'll say like 1 to 6, if you're just like, okay, I'm not sure what I want to do, maybe just do a 1 or a 2. And then with a 1 or a 2, you actually get 4 or 5 more options on what levels you want. So it's pretty specific. And then you basically get a sweat score every time that you go 30 seconds hard. And then you try to meet or beat your sweat score every time that you go. Again, our staff can help you with that. And if you are really not a runner, I would not recommend doing it on a treadmill. Do it on a bike or an elliptical. Okay, so flexibility, we also do a flexibility test. We've got the squat test right now on the hub, as well as just your full, lateral movement, hamstring, hip flexor, mobility. You can do that anytime. If you haven't already done that, it will give you a bio age on that as well. That's one that we found that the bio age is not that great. So while our people are getting stronger on the machines, their flexibility is not that great. So it's good to do warm up, mobilize your joints, right? Move your body somehow for a warm up. So we'll talk a lot about warm ups in a little bit. The harder you work, the more recovery you need. So if you're consistent and you're regular with your activity, and you're maybe going hard a couple of times a day with combat or TRX or Sprint 8, that means that you just need to take a little bit more time for recovery. So if you think about the athlete, right, the football player, the basketball player, how hard they're working in the gym, they're working hard at sleeping, nutrition, all the other things, getting massages, all of that other stuff. So obviously that's at a higher level than what the average Joe is, but we also have to think about that the harder you go and the more that you're training, the more you have to really focus on recovery. And then some suggestions on that, we've got foam rolling, stretching, we've got some classes, yoga, body balance, and mindful movement classes. And then metabolism, that's your nutrition and exercise. Starting at a healthy weight, or being at a healthy weight, is important for decreasing risk for diseases. We do also have the InBody. That's a great place to start if you're looking for body composition changes. Getting an InBody test before you start doing any programs, or before you start doing like a formal program or something like that. So it is included with our MX4 classes. It's included with personal training. It's an additional $15 if you don't have any of those things. So it's really worth getting, and then you can get a retest after you've been working for 8 to 12 weeks or something like that. Okay, so going back to the EGYM specifically, how do we get the most out of our EGYM workouts? We want to make sure that we're warm. This is something that we really have noticed, that people aren't always warming up. And for me, at the age that I'm at, I need to warm up for, especially in a cold weather situation right now, I need to be doing something for 10 to 15 minutes. Now I could go maybe a little bit harder, a little bit faster, but I need to get my blood flowing, and I feel like the older you are, the longer that takes to get the blood flowing. So really, really important for injury prevention especially, making sure that you're warm. What that means is not just walking down to the EGYM and starting your chest press. That means getting on a treadmill, maybe going into the functional training area, moving your arms, moving your hips, getting some warm-ups in. If you think about, again, how long does an athlete, a baseball player, a basketball player warm up before the game? Like, they almost do just as long of a warm-up as they do a game, right? And so we got to think about that as too. It's an important thing to prepare your body. Tell your body it's time to work, right? You're not going to be as sore. You're not even going to perceive the workout to be as hard if you are properly warmed up. So I can't emphasize that enough. And we have had people that have injured themselves on the EGYM because most of the time, if they tell me that they injured themselves, I ask if they warm up, and they said no. And so that's why, that more than likely that's what happened. So really, really important. Pick a program that meets your needs. If you're a rehab person or just coming off of surgery, like you just said that, Richard just said. So, and then we want to make sure that we're using good form. So if a coach comes and corrects you, thank them, because you potentially could have hurt yourself. The biggest common faults that I see are the leg press. The leg press, you want to have your feet a little bit wider, or as wide as your hips, or a little bit wider. You want to have your feet angled out about 5 degrees, and you want to have your heels all the way up on that plate. So many times I walk into the Ellinger Center and I see people on the leg press and their heels, so like the plate is here and their heels are down here, and they're just pushing with their toes. That's not right. We want to have that up there so that we're really activating all of the muscles. So again, a way that somebody could potentially hurt themselves. The other one is triceps. So a lot of times I see this, right? They're pushing that tricep bar down like that. You got to stabilize through your shoulders, and your triceps are back here. Your shoulders are working, they're stabilizing, but it's really this. The upper body is not really moving much, it's just the bend of the elbow. So thinking about that and really isolating that muscle, that's just one that we see, people get kind of crazy on that one, especially when it's explonic, right? They just want to really muscle it, and they're using their traps, and these muscles already are usually strong, and they're up here. So those are just 2 common faults that I usually see. I'm not saying that you guys are doing that, but when I walk in there, I try to walk around the center and just kind of check people's forms, because again, that's how people hurt themselves. And then making sure that you're giving yourself rest days. So 1 to 2 days between your strength training. Strength training, I typically do 2 times a week. That's all you really need to do. You need to, especially as you get older, you need that time for their muscle to grow. So if you're doing the right kind of training, having that rest time in between, you could do it 3 times a week. If you're doing other activities that are body weight or whatever on the other days, that's totally fine, especially if you're doing your cardio. But if you're really, really doing your focused weight training, it only needs to be two times a week. The research shows that the 3rd time doesn't give you as much benefit. So, and then making sure you're stretching after your workout, or doing some kind of a flexibility class during the week sometimes. Like doing a body balance class at least 1 time a week would be a really good program, to really make sure that you're stretching out and making those muscles that you've kind of shortened. So what happens when you strength train is those muscle fibers shorten, and you want to lengthen them back out to normal length. Otherwise, what happens over time, those short muscles, let's say I'm doing my shoulder press, and this muscle gets short. Well, now what happens, right? This muscle gets long, and if I'm trying to row something and I'm rowing like this, bad posture, I'm just gonna always walk around like this, right? Which we see older people do that, right? So we wanna stand up. I recently went to Marquardt. Everybody was facing the ground and walking on their things, and I just wanted to lift their heads up and pull their shoulders back. And I was like, oh, come to the EGYM or something, right? Anyway, so we want to make sure that we're stretching so that those joints the muscles aren't pulling on the joints. And then check your results. So going back to the in-body, or just, checking your app. Look at what you did. Give yourself credit for working really hard. I think that's the coolest thing. The app really does provide motivation to people. Yeah, Judy.
I can't say enough about the body balance flexibility classes for stretching.
Mm-hmm.
They are the most amazing stretching classes. I mean, if you don't have an hour, or if you don't, if you don't want to do the other stuff,
Yeah.
because you've been working hard.
Yeah.
Those flexibility classes.
Yes. You come away just feeling amazing, right?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you realize how much you really need that
Mhm.
sometimes.
Exactly.
Yes, thank you for that testimonial, Judy. All right, so again, going back to that warm up, we want to make sure that we increase the blood flow to our bodies. You should feel warmer. So a lot of times, well, how do I know if I'm warmed up? Well, if you have a jacket on, you probably want to feel like you want to take that jacket off, right? And sometimes if you're taking a class and you come in with a long sleeve shirt on, or you might be even just walking on the treadmill, you might not take your shirt off or your sweatshirt off for the first 10 or 15 minutes. It really does take some time, and you should gradually increase that blood flow. And like I said, it can take up to 15, 20 minutes, even if you especially if you're coming from a cold car. Increases your heart rate, connects your brain and your body together. It's that neuromuscular connection. Like you said, you're going to get more out of your workout if you're warmed up and that blood flow is going, and your muscles will contract better. Then going back to more things. Does anybody need more information about warming up? Because I don't necessarily have to go to this. I know Ann wants to get to class, so you're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry about me, I'll just sneak out.
We can definitely talk more about warming up and cooling down, if we need to. How you guys feeling about that? I feel like I'm lecturing. It's like everybody knows, most people know that, but it's like, maybe what do you need to do? So if you need any guidance, maybe we can just talk about that at the end, okay? But, basically, the best time to do your stretching is after you're warm, right? So if you need to do some mobility, maybe you walk on the treadmill for 15 minutes, do a little bit of mobility, roll through your shoulders, roll through your hips, maybe a little rotation through your spine. That is going to help you be prepared to do the workouts. Okay, let's get to the programming. So there are 4 phases, 6 workouts in each phase, and it changes, right? So you're never going to do regular for 6, do a strength test, and then do regular again. You're going to probably do regular then adaptive, or regular then explonic, that kind of thing. So it's going to change after you do that strength test. Now, I had 2 people just this morning tell me that they are getting prompted to do strength tests twice in a row, so I don't know what that is. So we'll have to figure that out.
I think I know now,
You think?
because of what you said. So my first day, I did a strength test because I hadn't been on there for over a year. The second day, I think because it
Was your 6th workout or your 7th
because
workout?
it went to the negative, yep.
Okay.
So it went to the different phase of
Okay.
it. So I think that's why I had the second strength test.
Okay. And Cheryl, was it you had come back after not being there for a while? No, it was just,
It was just, from a Thursday to a Tuesday. This
Okay.
Strength test twice in a row.
Yeah, that seems kind of strange, so I'm not sure about that. But what you said, Ann, makes
That
sense.
makes sense to me.
Yeah, okay, so a total of 24 workouts in each program, and unfortunately, when you get to that 24th workout, it doesn't really do anything. We were hoping for some fireworks or something coming out of the machines, right? Like, yeah, we did it for 24 workouts, that's a lot. But it doesn't do that, so it might be something that, you might have to keep track of that on your own. And then at that point, it's okay to change programs. We encourage you to do something different. So let's say you started with general fitness, you wanted just something basic to get started with, or maybe you're coming off of a surgery and you're doing rehab. Let's get to something different after those, and it might not even take 24 workouts if you're feeling really good about it in the rehab program. But the rehab program ends with Explonic. So again, getting back to those fast twitch muscle fibers, we do want you to be doing that. What do I want to say here? Sometimes if it's not busy in the hub, or in the circuit, if you want to do your strength tests on each machine, if you can move along a little bit quicker and don't have to take your turn, that is how I would recommend it. And then you can, like if you're just coming back, is what I'm saying. If you're just coming back, do that if you can, and then do your workout. Sometimes if you do the strength test and then you do your workout, it's a lot. And depending upon how quickly you move and all that kind of stuff. So our staff can also help you with doing that, making sure that you're understanding what you're doing. If you haven't done it in a while, you're like, okay, what does this machine do? Which way do I push it? That kind of thing. Our staff can walk along with you. Skip any injured or healing parts until your doctor's okay. So if you're coming off of rehab, maybe your doctor said don't do squats. Maybe you just don't do the leg press. And you just stand there or sit on the machine waiting for that 110 seconds to go, and then you move to the next one. See ya, Ann.
Thank you.
And then if you need to go, work around a body part again, making sure that you're not doing it all out. So like the first time you get back to a leg press, if you just had hip surgery, you're probably just gonna go 50% on your strength test. So you're moving, you got a little bit of weight on there, but you're not going, you're all out. The rest of your body parts, if you're feeling okay, you can do that. The timer, again, the blue phase is the time to move, the time to rest. I see a lot of people, they've got the blue and they're moving their machine. That is really meant to really let you rest. So important to take that rest when you need to. More than likely, if you are, ready to go, there are programs that do 30 reps. So if you want to do something different and you want to do more reps, let's change your program to be one that those reps count. And then the orange phase, obviously. So if you're new to it or just getting back, that might be just something to be aware of. Because sometimes we would have somebody go, I just scanned in and it's halfway through my workout. Well, it's because they went in on the orange timer and not on the blue timer because it was already going, right? So these program phases, Explonic, negative, adaptive, and regular. The Explonic, again, because nobody likes Explonic, it seems like. It activates fast twitch muscle fibers, improves reaction time, it's fall prevention, power and speed training, enhances neuromuscular performance and neuromuscular efficiency. So basically that just means it helps you if you ever have that time where you almost fall or you slip on ice or something like that. That quickness, the reaction that you're trying to catch your phone before it falls, or whatever the real life things that happen, right? And then negative, that's your true strength training. It contributes to muscle growth, develops resilient ligaments and tendons. So a lot of times people kind of don't really think, oh, I'm working my muscles, but it's ligaments and tendons, all connected, right? So we want to make sure that we're doing strength training because of that as well, not just the muscles. Adaptive is exhaustion of complete muscle potential. That's where you start at a heavier or a higher percentage of your 1 rep max. On here, I'm sure it says, yeah. So it's set, adaptive is 70, it starts at 72% of your 1 rep max. That's pretty close to your 1 rep max. And so then it decreases as it perceives you not able to handle the load. So somebody that's really, really working hard, their adaptive might only come down a couple of pounds, but if you're really struggling on it, it will come down as much as it perceives that you need to. So it really activates some maybe inactive muscle fibers. Again, it's pushing you to that full potential of your muscle fibers to be able to be active. And then regular uses just light to moderate resistance. with an even tempo, builds muscle endurance, and it's really just a foundation of that muscle strength. So again, most of the programs have regular in them, and you can kind of look at this chart if you need to at the end. That's all I have for EGYM. We can go on to the other things, but I do want to, let's see if I can get out of here. Where's my cursor? Wow.
For the EGYM, if you're struggling with a weight, should you adjust it manually with the plus and minus, or does it do that automatically for you?
Depends upon the program. So the adaptive would adjust for you. If you, like, give me an example of why you're struggling with it.
So I hit the negative program, like it switched automatically to that, and when it was coming back, it was like way too much weight. So I was like trying to hit the minus really quick, but then I missed like half of the workout because I was trying to adjust the weight on it.
Yeah, so you can adjust it manually. I would maybe prompt you to do a strength test the next time, just to see for whatever reason it might just be giving you too much. But that's the purpose of negative training is for you, so that eccentric phase, that resistance of it coming back at you is, again, activating different muscle fibers than when you push forward, right? So if somebody wants to do a pull-up, for instance, what they want to do is they want to pull themselves up, but with assistance, and then allow themselves to lower slowly. So it actually allows you to be able to pull up quicker, or pull up, train those muscles in a different way. They actually get stronger faster. So it's just one of those things. And again, if you don't, for whatever reason, don't want to do negative training, you can probably find a program in here that doesn't have negative training, but just know it's good for you. And maybe the first couple of times you can bump that down, but if you find yourself consistently doing that, then a strength test would be the thing that I would recommend initially, to see if you can just adjust that. If it's just one or two machines. If it's your whole body, if it's like on every single machine, you're like, I just don't like this. It's probably because you really need it. But again, it's your workout, so I'm not going to force you to do something.
And I think I wasn't expecting it. It like automatically just went to negative, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening here?
And that's the thing, is that it does get to be, I think, after you do that strength test, it's stronger, and it's periodized, so it's got this program for you based on your 1 rep max. And so when you do that 1 rep max, it's like, oh, you're stronger, and it's going to build the program from there. But it's already set by the training program that you picked. So if your training program already has negative in it, that's just where you're going to go. So change programs, do the strength test. Let's talk about that a little bit at the end. Hopefully I can just run through this real quick. I know a lot of you already know MX4. It is functional training. So I like to talk about EGYM as being a great thing, right? We love it. People love it. Lots of users. It's not functional though. So let's say you're picking up a grocery bag or your laundry basket from the floor. When you're picking something up like that, you are doing a squat, a deadlift, a bicep curl, and a back row all at the same time, and your core is engaged. That's functional, right? Daily living activities. When you're sitting on a machine and you're just pushing the handles on the machine, and you're sitting, you're pretty much just only working the muscles that you're using to push the machine, right? So love the EGYM, do the EGYM, but outside of that, on other days, do some kind of functional training. A lot of our group exercise classes, MX4 specifically, again, it's not very long. It's 20 minutes. It is an additional cost, but it's run by a personal trainer. You get to use all the really fun functional tools in the functional training studio: battle ropes, slam balls, the S-drive, the rowers, a TRX, all of those things. Those functional movements will enhance your everyday living. It will also enhance your EGYM, because now that connective tissue, all of the things work together. I always say cardio also helps strength training. Strength training also helps you on your cardio. So all of the things work together. MX4 in particular can be modified. That's why a personal trainer teaches it. So if you can't do a certain thing because you had surgery or whatever it is, they'll give you some options. It's 20 minutes of work. Come warmed up to that class. If you're interested in trying it, we do offer one for free. We do also offer a couple of times a year, we offer some free weeks. Stretches are offered after your workout. The personal trainer will guide you, and then it's just really fun. Those are fun fitness tools. If you don't know how to use them, it's kind of like, oh, this is a great way for me to learn how to use them, and I can use them on my own. And then the group effect, right? So like, we love to be social around here at the Y. We love to meet other people. We love to meet other people that are striving to do the same things that we're doing. Keeps us accountable. There's a time that the class starts, and if you show up, you just have to be there, right? Like, then the instructor will tell you what to do. You don't even have to think about what workout am I gonna do, or what weights am I gonna lift, or whatever. This is a little video, if I can get it to work. My cursor is not working today. Oh, there it is. So that's actually Ann in the lime green shirt. So there's the rowers, there's the TRXs, there's the bottle ropes. So that's just a little clip of that class. All right, personal training. So if you are, again, in a situation where you're like, I don't have a goal, I don't know what my goals are, I just got out of surgery, I don't know where to start, personal trainers programs will train you in all planes of motion. It will be more functional than a machine. They typically don't, have you do machines unless maybe a couple of them in their program, and then they'll also coach you on proper form, give you options, functional movements. Maybe if you want to lift heavier, maybe you need a stretching program, that kind of thing. They can give you that. You can meet as often as you would like. We have packages of 30 or 60-minute sessions, 3, 6, or 10 sessions at a time. The cheapest one is a 30-session package with 3 sessions, and that really just gets you started. It's not, long-term or anything like that, but if that's all you're really looking for, just some guidance from them, use their expertise, that's a $90 one, and then all the way up to $500, that's if you commit for 10 sessions for 60 minutes, that kind of thing. So, and then anywhere in between there, based on your goals. You can also do partner training. So if you have a friend or a family that wants to do it with you, that's another option. And then again, just another way to personalize your, meeting your goals. Then our group classes, social atmosphere. Again, you meet some friends, keeps you accountable. There's a set time. Trains the body in all planes of motion. Typically, you do a warm-up, you do some stretching at the end of your class. So, and the instructors are trained in how to do that. And then basically, starting with the right class for you is a good place to start. Whatever it is, maybe it's a chair-based class. Again, if you're just coming off of surgery or just getting started, those are mostly during the day. And then we have, body weight classes, and we also have weight training classes. So wherever you want to start, we've got 30-minute, 45-minute, 55-minute, or 60-minute classes, some cardio, some weight training, some body weight. Being consistent, no matter what exercise you choose, will help you be healthy all of your life. And then we also offer, we have a women's weight training program right now, that's in the evenings. We have healthy habits, a weight loss challenge, Healthy Mind workshops. We offer CPR to our members. There's 3-on-3 basketball, there's pickleball leagues, so if you have any other questions about those kinds of things. And, just learning the habit of exercise, that can be like the first step, right? So I know a lot of you already hear pretty regularly, but, encouraging other people to be regular as well, if you already are. And then just kind of a list of benefits of exercise